Hey guys, welcome. We're going to work towards variations on Ardha Chandrasana or half moon today in practice. And I always say towards because I think that it's really important that we have clear goals, right? We know the direction that we're heading, what our intention is, and at the same time, to not be overly attached to what the outcome is going to be, right? We know this happens all the time off of our mat, right? We set our goals, our desires, our intentions, and then what happens along the path to get there, right, might not look exactly like what we wanted or desired or hoped for. So, our practice is a great place to work on this, to get clear on our intentions, how we line our bodies up, our minds up to get there, and let go a little bit on the grip of what that final product might look like. So, I invite you to play with those two opposite ends of the spectrum in practice today. If you have a couple blocks, a blanket, those will be great to have handy for class today. Let's start standing at the front of our mats. And begin with feet hip width or big toes together to touch, whatever helps you to find a little bit more stability to begin. And as you close your eyes, come to your breath. And as you start to bring attention to your breath here, I invite you to settle down and ground a little bit more into your feet on your exhales. And maintain that, but lengthen up through your upper body, up through the crown of your head on your inhale. Root down, anchor, tether on your exhale. Lift, open, get light on your inhale. And so that even in our body, we start to explore these oppositional directions, holding two things to be separate but true. How do we maintain clarity of intention and release the grip on what it needs to be? And take a couple more breaths like that. With your next inhale breath, reach both arms up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands together at heart center. Start to follow the rhythm of your breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands together at heart center. One more like that. Reach up, inhale, root down through your feet. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Take a moment here, find your intention for your practice or for your day. Be clear with what that is. And can you then offer it up, let it go? Know that we make steps along the path to get there. Reach both arms up, inhale. Follow your breath, fold forward, exhale. Anchor your feet, inhale, lengthen forward halfway. Lift your belly, draw your shoulders back. Exhale, fold. One more like that. Root your feet down, inhale, lengthen forward. Stretch out through the top of your head as you press down through your feet. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step back, down dog. Find steadiness through your hands here. So really root through your fingertips and spread your fingers wide. Press your hands down, traction them forward, and lift your hips behind you. So again, moving our body in oppositional forces. This ability to hold two things as separate but true. Take a full breath in, big breath out. With your inhale, slow side forward, high plank pose. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. And exhale, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. And just move with your breath. Inhale, slow. Take the full length of your inhale to come forward. And then same, full length of your exhale. Lift your hips up and back, down dog. One more time like that. Slow ripple forward. Let your head be the last thing to arrive so your chin stays moving in towards your chest until your shoulders stack over your wrists. And then bend your elbows, lower all the way to your belly. You can always bring your knees down first for support. Press the tops of your feet. Inhale, lift up through head, chest, shoulders. Exhale, lower down. Good. Stretch all the way back, downward facing dog. Full breath in, anchor down. Full breath out, lengthen your hips back. Inhale to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, and then walk, step, or a little hop up to the front of your mat. Press your feet down. Inhale, stretch forward halfway. This time, stay here. Bring your left hand to the front center of your mat. You can also use a block here. That's really nice for a little bit more height. Bring your right hand to your hip. And from that root of your feet, stretch all the way out through the top of your head. Maintain that length. Twist to your right. You can keep hand to your hip, or you can reach your top arm up. Good. Where can you root down? Find stability. And then where can you spread open? Find a little bit more lightness and space in your twist. And then inhale, unwind. Exhale, fold. Lengthen forward halfway again. Take a breath in. This time, bring your right hand to the front center of your mat. So it lines up right underneath your nose. Bring your left hand to your hip. Really press your feet down, hug your inner legs together, and stretch out through the top of your head. So we get all that length in your spine. And then twist to your left. Right, same thing. You can keep hand to hip or reach your top arm up. Good. If your hand is lifted, reach up through your left fingertips. Hug your left shoulder blade more onto your back. See if that can help guide you a little more into your twist. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, fold. Right, you can always bend your knees here too in forward folds if that gives you a little more space. Bring your hands to your hips. Press down through your heels. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands together at heart center. Take a breath. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Anchor your feet, stretch forward halfway. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Step your right foot back. Bring your right knee down to your mat. You can take your left foot a little wider here for more stability. Inhale, bring both arms up overhead, Anjaneyasana. Strengthen your foundation, right? So squeeze your inner legs. Bring your right hip back and lift and tone through your low belly. And then you can stay right here. For a lot of us, that's plenty of opening in the front of the hip. Or let your hips start to come forward. Right? Don't lose the tone in your low belly with that. From that steadiness of your legs, lift up through your chest, through your fingertips, and stretch your upper arms back. Smooth, steady breath. Next exhale, bring your hands down. Shift your hips back, Ardha Hanuman half splits. Flex your front foot, maybe wiggle your left heel forward. I guess the question is, how do we know if the front heel needs to come forward? You want to stack your right hip directly over your right knee, as opposed to it coming all the way back or way far forward. Can you find that line of stability through your right leg? Blocks here might be really nice too. Flex your left foot. Press your heel down. Traction your heel back. And just notice what that does for the back line of your leg. And you can stay a little bit more upright. That might be where the right amount of sensation is. Or walk your hands forward a little bit more if it feels like you have a little bit more range of motion today. Let your upper body fold over your front leg. And take a few breaths there. And we often do this in our practice. We have goals that we're working towards or poses that we're working on. And that we want it to be more about the process of it than the product. And I think is the direction to go. That we know it might take time to get there for the pose to feel like we want it to. So, how do we stay steady on that path with our intention, even though we might be falling, figuring things out along the way? Inhale, come forward, bend your front knee, plant your hands, step back, high plank. Good. Anchor through your fingertips here, lift up through your low belly, and find the length from the top of your head all the way out through your heels. Take a full breath in. And on your exhale, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. And from down dog, reach your right leg up. Exhale, step your right foot through. Bring your left knee down to your mat. This time, bring both arms up overhead, Anjaneyasana asana to begin. And then same thing, find the stability of foundation first, right? So always stacking from the feet up. Squeeze your inner legs. Draw your right outer hip back and stay lifted through your lower belly. Right, keep all that as your hips come forward so that we're not sacrificing the stability for that depth of the hips coming forward. Find that balance between the two. Then lift and get light through your upper body, through the upper portion of the pose. Reach up through your fingertips. Move your arms back. Next, exhale, bring your hands down. Shift your hips back, Ardha Hanuman, half splits. Right, so again, just checking with the left hip and knee. Stack hip right over knee. That might mean wiggling your left heel forward. Nope, right heel. Flex your foot. Press your heel down. Right, grab blocks if you want. Come up onto fingertips, or walk your hands forward a little bit more. Right, where's the right amount of sensation for this side? And then fold in. We can get sometimes a really clear idea of what our intention is or what our goal is, and that's great. I think that that clarity is so helpful. And on the other side, how do we respond when things don't quite move in that direction, right? When life shifts around us? Right? Do we continue to cling and grip to that? Or can we make some simple adjustments along the way? Inhale, come forward, bend your front knee, plant your hands, step back, high plank again. Right, knees down, always a great option for a little more support. And as you press down through your fingertips, almost like you're making little suction cups with your hands. So it feels like you're drawing that muscle energy from the center of your palm all the way up to your shoulders. Take another full breath in. And then exhale either with bent knees or straight legs lower all the way down to your belly. Great. And then from here, roll up onto your left side. This one's always fun. Prop your head up in your hand. And then work to line up feet, hips, shoulder, and elbow. So it's one long straight line. You can keep your right hand in front of you for support to begin with. Right, so I see that when I look down, I can just see my toes. If they're pretty far forward or back, then the legs might not be quite in line. And then I say, how do you know? When you lift your right arm and stretch it along your side body, things will likely start to wobble a little bit. This pose seemingly really simple, but activates a lot of the muscles that help stabilize through our center. A nice adjustment to make is to flex your feet and then really root down through the outer edge of your bottom foot. See if that helps to bring in a little stability. And then when things start to fluctuate and wobble a little bit, we can anchor back into the stability and allow for those little adjustments, for those little movements. And come on back to your belly and then roll up onto your right side. So prop your head in your hand. And again, just take that moment to line up your body, feet, hips, shoulders, elbow, right? So the hips go back. And if it feels too easy, it probably means that the arm or the legs are trying to compensate for that. So just work to figure out where that straight line is for you. Okay, bring your left hand along your side, flex your feet, and then root down through the pinky edge of your bottom foot. Notice where the body's making those little adjustments to compensate stability and balance. If you start to tip forward or back, have a little laugh, come back to it. Sometimes those adjustments along the way require a sense of humor. Come all the way back down. Bring your hands by your low ribs, tuck your toes under, empty all your air out. Inhale, lift up, high plank. Exhale, come back, downward facing dog. Anchor through your hands, root back through your heels. Inhale, stretch your left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, step your foot through. And turn and plant your back heel. If you have a block while we're down here, you can set that towards the front of your mat. And then inhale, come all the way up, warrior two. Settle down into your foundation here. Bend your front knee. Stack your knee over your ankle. And then strengthen your legs together. Squeeze into midline. Right. Keep that, but press your feet down and out and lengthen up through the top of your head. Right. So from the stability, the steadiness, we find the opening and the space, those oppositional forces. Next, inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, reach forward, come down, triangle pose. Hand to shin, hand to your block if it's there and you want a little bit more support. And then reach your top arm up. Keep that stability in your legs. Reach your right arm up. Draw your right shoulder back to lift and open up through your chest. Stay rooted down, especially through the outer edge of your back foot, as you lengthen the crown of your head forward. Bring your right hand to your hip. And then as you walk your left hand forward, take a step in with your back foot. Sometimes that just helps to ease the transition. Root down into your left foot. Lift your right leg up. Half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. Right? And then just work towards, right? Towards rolling your outer right hip open until your right hip stacks on top of your left. Right? So think about that as the intention, the direction that we're moving in. Whether it gets there today or not. You can keep your hand to your hip or reach your top arm up. Flex through your back foot, get the back leg strong, even if it's not lifted as high. And think about that just as a guidepost along the way. It lets you know you're moving in the right direction. And then as you anchor down through your hand and your foot, open up through your chest and maintain your balance. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, bend your front knee. Keep your balance, step all the way back, warrior two. Good. Inhale, reach both arms up, turn your toes to the long end of your mat. Exhale, fold forward, wide-legged forward fold. And you might need to organize your feet a little bit here. They don't always land where we want when we step them back. And so parallel your feet, point your toes straight forward. And then walk your hands under your shoulders, fold in through your upper body. If a little extra shoulder opener would feel good here, interlace your hands, thumbs to your sacrum, reach your knuckles up towards the ceiling. Strong legs. Release the weight of your head and your neck. And unwind your arms. Inhale, lengthen forward. If you use the block, if that felt good, you can just slide it towards the back end of the mat. Hands to hips. Inhale, come all the way up. And then pivot your feet. So right toes towards the back. Pick up your left heel. Slide it back just an inch or two. And then bend your front knee. Bring your arms out wide. Warrior two. Find that stability in your legs. Squeeze your heels together. Settle down into your front knee. And then tack your back shoulder, back ribs back as you look out over your front fingertips. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Find a smooth, steady breath. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, reach forward. Come down, triangle pose, Trikonasana, second side. Again, shin, block. Enough height that your upper body, your chest can stay open. So as you anchor your feet, reach up through your left hand, hug your left shoulder onto your back. Right? All just places that we're working towards, right? Ways to align our body, help us move towards our intention, towards our goal. Bring your top hand to your hip, look down. Right? If you're comfortable with this pose, you can do this all in one. Right? Take a step forward and lift your leg. For a little more stability, step in first. Bring your hand to your block or to your mat. Just line your hand up under your shoulder and then float your back leg up. All right, so here we work towards roll your left hip open on top of your right. Flex your back foot. Root strongly through your right foot, especially the inner edge of your foot. And then reach your top arm up or keep your hand to your hip for a little more stability. Right. Ways to challenge the balance here or support your balance. Looking down is usually more helpful for balance. Right. As you look towards the side wall or even up towards the ceiling, it will likely challenge your balance a little bit more. Take one more full breath in. And then as you exhale, bend your top knee, step all the way back, warrior two. Take a breath in. Lift your arms up, pivot your toes, fold forward. Prasarta Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. And so again, hands under shoulders or clasp your hands behind you to take the shoulder opener. Root your feet down. And you can keep a bend in your knees if that feels a little bit better. Release through the weight of your head and your neck. And there might even be a place like this that you're working on right now. And something that you've been really working towards, but might not be quite unfolding the way that you want. Or can you let go a little, loosen the grip? Leaving space sometimes just for things to unfold, to allow for that to happen instead of pushing through. I know I'm really good at that sometimes, the forcing things to happen. Release your hands. Inhale, stretch forward halfway. Walk your hands up to the front of your mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, side forward, high plank. Exhale, lower all the way to your belly. And anchor the tops of your feet. Inhale, lift up your head, chest, shoulders, cobra pose. Exhale, lower down. Untuck your toes, stretch all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift up to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, and then walk, step, or a little hop up to the front of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips, root your feet down. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, bring your hands together at your heart. Take a breath. Come back to your intention for your practice, for your day, for that bigger goal. And sometimes it's helpful just to do this, to come back to the direction that we're moving towards, to revisit it, to have that clarity, and then let it go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend your knees, sit back, chair pose, Utkatasana. Good. Weight to your heels. Keep your arms lifted or bring your hands together at your heart. Settle low as you stay lifted through your upper body. Take a full breath. And inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, stretch forward halfway. Exhale, fold. Step your right foot back. Take a shorter stance, so warrior 1 feet. Get your whole back heel down. Walk your left foot out to the left an inch or two. Inhale, bring both arms up overhead, warrior 1. Bend into your front knee. And then really similar to what we did before in Anjaneyasana, hug your inner legs together. Dial your outer left hip back. Right? And then lift up through your low belly. Lift up through your chest. Bring your arms back. You can keep your arms lifted. You can take a hold of opposite elbows. Sometimes that just gives you a little more juice in the shoulders. And then from that, lift and long line through the front body. Maybe start to take your gaze up. Right? This is less of just throwing the head back than finding one continuous long line up the front line of the body. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, plant your hands, step forward to the front of your mat. Exhale, step your left foot back. It's the same thing, get your whole back heel down and take your right foot out to the right just an inch or two for steadiness. Inhale, bring both arms up. Exhale, bend your front knee. Strong inner leg squeeze together. Bring your outer right hip back. And then lift up through your belly. Right? Lengthen all the way along the front line of your body. Lift your chest. Either lift up through your hands or take a hold of opposite elbows. Find a smooth, steady breath. And see if you can enjoy exactly where you are in your pose and your practice today. Right? To have that goal we work towards and yet not rush, to enjoy the whole process, the unfolding. And reach both arms up, inhale, plant your hands, step back this time, high plank as you exhale. Take a breath in, and then exhale, lower all the way to your belly. And from here, prop yourself up onto your left forearm. And you have a lot of control over the amount of back bend here. So the further you walk your arm in, right, the more your torso lifts, the more back bend that you have. If it would feel better to take a little back bend out, walk your forearm further forward. Right, wherever you are, lift up through your belly. Press the tops of your feet down. Lengthen your tailbone back towards your heels. And bend your right leg. Reach all the way around. Take a hold of your foot or your ankle. Draw your heel in towards your hip. Your arm might stay pretty straight here. You might bend your knee a little bit more. Turn your elbow up towards the ceiling. Really just depends on range of motion all along that side of the body. Let your right shoulder come forward. Reach out through your right knee. It's not going to move a lot. It's more of an energetic lengthening. Keep pressing through the top of your left foot, your straight foot. And then press your left forearm down. Lift your chest up. Take a couple full, steady breaths. And then release your foot. Come all the way down. Let your hips move a little bit side to side. Take a breath in between sides. And then prop yourself up onto your right arm, right? Same thing. Closer in, further away. Adjust the amount of back bend to make it work for you. Bend your left leg. Reach all the way around for your foot, your ankle. Good. Strengthen your inner legs. Move your heel in towards your hip, right? So if that's you here, or flip your elbow up, lift your belly, lengthen back through your tailbone. Both of those things to really support the back bend here. Lengthen out through your left knee. Press down through the top of your right foot. And traction your forearm back towards your belly to lift up through your chest. Unwind, come all the way down. This time, bend your knees and just let your feet windshield wiper side to side. Release both feet down. And we're going to come back to that laying on our side like we did earlier, right? So come up onto your left side, prop your head into your hands, and then do that same. See if you can line up elbow, shoulder, hips, feet. Yep, I can already feel that. A little bit of fluctuation happening there. I'm going to give you guys an option. We can stay here at this first variation, your arms stretched along your side. Okay, that's probably already going to be creating that stability. It's like these deep inner stabilizer muscles around our spine. Or have a little fun with it, get playful. Lift your right leg up a couple of inches, bend your knee, reach back, similar to just what we just did on our belly. Right? And sometimes we're like, the foot's almost right there. And try this. Bring your knee in. Yep, it's hard because we're balancing. Then take a hold of foot or ankle and then press back. Right? We'll do this same thing in half moon pose in a moment. So this little variation where you bring the knee in and take a hold sometimes is really helpful for just that ability to get hold of the foot. Okay, from here, sometimes the hips want to slide all the way back or slide all the way forward. Find center and then press back through your knee. Now let your chest come forward as you press your hand and foot together. Balance. Yeah. Keep rooting down through the outer edge of your back foot and find a steady breath, right? If your hips wobble forward or back, just have a little giggle, I'll come back to it. Steps along the way and part of the process. Let's unwind and come all the way to your belly. Take a breath. And then we'll do same on the second side. So roll to your right, prop your head, take a moment to line up. And then you can start with left hand along your side body. Already you might get those little wobbles. Find that anchor of your bottom foot. And then maybe, right? Maybe your intention is just to find some stability here. This already is, it looks so simple and a lot going on right deep inside. Or lift your top foot a couple inches, bend your knee. And either your foot's going to be right there, or bring your knee in a little bit and then take a hold of foot or ankle. Anchor down. Press your foot and your hand together. And then chest forward, belly forward as you lean your head back and press your foot back. So there's a bit of a back bend happening here. And release your foot. Unwind, come back to your belly, and then press yourself back, child's pose. Big toes together, knees wide. Take a couple of breaths. And come forward to your hands, stretch your hips up and back, downward facing dog. And take a full breath in and a full breath out through your mouth. Let it go. And one more time, full breath in, big breath out through your mouth. Let it go. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, step your foot through. Turn your back heel down, right? Have your block there if you want. Inhale, come all the way up, warrior two. Use warrior two to set your foundation, find your stability, to feel rooted and anchored. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, reach forward, come down, triangle pose. Again, enjoy each step of the process along the way. Right? Sometimes we're in a hurry to get to our goal, our intention. Understandable. Sometimes that makes it more challenging to get there. Let the process unwind and unfold as you go. Hand to hip, look down, and then take a step in as you walk your left hand forward. Lift your back leg up, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. And if your hand comfortably comes to the ground, great, do that. Just stack your hand under your shoulder. Roll your right hip open. Maybe there's a touch more space the second time around. Maybe. Flex your foot. Okay, options here. Stretch your right arm long by your side like we just did laying down. Right? That even challenges the balance a little more than your arm up. Or bend your knee, reach back for your foot, Ardha Chandra Chapasana. If it feels like the foot's almost right there, right, bring your knee in towards your chest. Take a hold of your foot or your ankle, that same way we did laying down. Then press the whole thing back. Anchor your foot, open through your chest. Maybe lean back a little bit. Take a couple breaths. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, bend your knee. Step all the way back, warrior two. Inhale, reach both arms up, pivot your feet. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen forward halfway. Bring your hands to your hips. Come all the way up. Pivot to the back end. So right toes forward, left heel back. Bend into your front knee, warrior two. Same thing, use warrior two to organize your foundation and your stance. Let yourself get rooted before we work towards the balance. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, reach forward, come down, triangle. Root your feet, roll your chest open, right? That same action we want to get when we come into half moon. And then top hand to your hip, look down, take a step in, walk your hand forward. Again, maybe a block or hand underneath your shoulder. Lift your left leg up. Root your right foot down. Roll your outer left hip open. Flex your left foot. Right, so those same options here, stretch your arm long by your side or bend your knee, reach back. It might be like, so close. Bring your knee in a little bit. It's kind of like a little cheat. Take a hold and then press back, right? Just something to play with steps along the way. And if we're working towards a pose towards that goal. How can we modify and make adjustments to get there? Anchor down. Open up through your chest, lean back, press your hand to your foot. Wherever you're at, enjoy this step along the way. However it looks, if it's taking you a little off the path to get there, let go and enjoy. Inhale, open. Exhale, bend your knees, step all the way back. Lift your hands, fold forward. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, walk your hands to the front of your mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Exhale, bring your knees down to your mat. Settle your hips back, child's pose. Take 2 full rounds of breath here. Walk your hands back, come to sit on your heels, and then swing yourself around, come all the way down onto your back. Once you get there, bend your knees, place your feet to your mat, and then stack your right knee on top of your left, right? So instead of ankle to knee, do knee on top of knee, just like you're sitting cross-legged. From there, hug your knees into your chest. Take a hold of your knees, your shins, or maybe the outer edges of your feet. So we're in supine gomukhasana, or cow face pose, laying down. Keep your feet flexed. And as you hug your knees in, lengthen your sacrum, the base of your spine, and your hips back down towards your mat. And to see what it feels like to find that oppositional directions. The hugging in and the lengthening back out. Release your feet. Keep the cross of your knees. Bring your left foot back down. And then lift your hips a little bit. Scoot them to your right. And so you can keep the shins stacked like this. If you have the range of motion and want to tuck your right toes behind like eagle legs, great. If you want to unfold your legs and just take knees stacked for the twist, you can do that too. Bring both knees over to your left. One of the things that also can be really nice here for support is a block or a pillow underneath your knees. This is, for most of us, a deeper twist than just the single knee twist. And so as we ease towards that goal, give yourself a little support along the way. See if you can find enough support that your right shoulder anchors back down to your mat. And then create a little space along your side body by rolling your right hip away. Stay soft through the back of your head and your shoulders. Take a couple of breaths. Unwind, come on back to center. Switch sides. And so bring your hips back to center and then stack your left knee on top of your right. Hug your knees into center. Take a hold, knees, shins, or feet. Flex your feet wherever you are. Hug your knees in and lengthen your sacrum, the base of your spine, away. Again, stay soft through head and neck and shoulders. Places that we stay engaged, like through the legs, find the alignment. But also find a little softness in the places that don't need to be working in your pose. Release your feet. Keep the cross of your knees. Bring your right foot back down. And then either shins parallel like this, or maybe wrap your left toes behind, right? That's not for all of us. Take it if it works for you. Scoot your hips to the left Bring your knees to the right. And again, maybe a block, maybe a throw pillow or a blanket. If it feels like a little more support there would help. Bring your arms out wide. Settle back through your left shoulder. Roll your outer left hip away. Take a few breaths. Next inhale, unwind, come on back to center. Uncross your legs. Hug both knees into your chest. Bring your forehead up to your knees. Give a big curl and squeeze in. And exhale, let it go. Shavasana. If you want props or support, take a moment to make yourself comfortable. Arms by your sides, hands to your belly. What feels more soothing? What helps you to settle into the shape a little more? Begin to release the effort through your body and through your breath. Allow Shavasana to release the practice. Wherever you got to or didn't get to today, let it go. We sometimes just have to have that little bit of trust that our intentions and our goals keep us moving in the right direction without holding on and gripping so much to each little step along the way. That there's some trust in the process. Rest there these last few moments here. Shavasana. If you have longer to stay at home and you want to do that, you want to rest, please do. You're ready to come out, take a full stretch with a big inhale, lengthen your arms overhead and out through your legs. Draw your knees to your chest, roll to your right. Use your hands, press all the way back up to sitting. Bring your hands together at your heart. And bow in, head to heart. To our intentions, to our goals, to those places that we take the steps along the way to get there, and to loosening the grip, to letting go. For creating space to allow the magic, the process to unfold. Thanks so much for practicing. Namaste.